Morty has the lowest win rate in the game at only 42.7%. This is not because he is a bad character, it's because he's really damn hard to play. In this video, I'll show you how to win more games with Morty and give you some helpful tips and tricks. To first get better at Morty, you must understand the basics. This is going to go through Morty's moveset, all of his specials, good perks to use for Morty, and what combos he has. This is Morty's neutral light, and this is when it doesn't have its ability. Morty's side light combo either has this triple combo there, where he brings out the hammer, or he has the one where he can use his whip special, so boom, boom, and only whips them. The cool thing about Morty's whip special is if you get the sweet spot like that, you can get dragged towards them and combo into them. Morty's down light. This is Morty's up light. This is Morty's up light. This is Morty's side light. This is Morty's down light. Morty's neutral special is this grenade, and if you click your neutral light, it does that and it explodes the grenade. Otherwise, you can just let the grenade run, and with the little timer there, it will explode when it's done, just like that there. A trick with this is if you shoot it, it releases that little ball there, which can bring them towards you, and then you can combo them with that. Morty's side special is that dirt, and it gives them the weaken effect as well. The weaken effect incurs greater knockback and damage when hit. Effect can be stacked, so yeah, you can stack that to give them more knockback and damage. A trick with the dirt and this one is you can split the grenade like that, and you can really see that wall there. You can split the grenade into two, which makes it explode quicker. Morty's down special is this little tag point here, and you can press it again at any point to return. It has a little blast radius there, it heals you a little bit, and it leaves a grenade from where you returned from, so you can use that grenade to deal some extra damage. Morty's up special is this spaceship here, so that can be used to set up combos. It also has another trick which I'll tell you about later. Morty's in the air to the side special is this little teleport here. A unique thing about this teleport is it actually gives you armor, so when you're using that, you can't take knockback. You take damage, but you don't take knockback. So now that you know all of Morty's moves, it's important to know what perks he has and what perks work with him. So we'll start off with his signature perks. This one you don't really want to use. The only real use that you can get out of it is if you clean up Bugs Bunny's little tunnels that he has. So if you're versing a Bugs Bunny that tunnels a lot, you can use that to clean it up, and then they can't use the tunnels. I'm actually not too sure what other purposes it has, but that's as far as I know with that one. This one is a really strong perk for ones because it leaves the grenade, and the longer that you leave the grenade, the bigger the explosion radius is. Which is very useful, especially if you use the dirt combo where it creates two grenades and then they just explode very quickly, and it's big blast radiuses. This perk here, More Than Just a Hammer, is actually pretty useful for twos because it covers a lot of space, and I find myself whenever I'm playing twos, I get quite a lot of hits on the enemies just using this. In ones, it's not as good because it's pretty obvious when it's going to happen, and yeah, it's quite a long duration of the move. Some of the best perks to use for Morty is projectile perks. So the one that I'm using at the moment is after knocking back an enemy with a projectile, your team can melee that enemy and ignite them for 1 second. So this ignition pretty much just stacks a bit of damage because Morty can be pretty hard to kill enemies with sometime. So stacking that damage just makes it a little bit easier to kill them eventually. Otherwise, you can use other knockback perks. Not really this ice one because it's very, very hard to stack it, but this Deadshot increased damage of projectiles is pretty good. I've also seen people use Make It Rain Dog, where the projectiles are increased in speed. So a lot of the projectile perks are very useful for Morty. I use one of those. The next perk that I use for Morty is I dodge, we dodge, you dodge. So every time you dodge, you get 10% ability cooldown refund. And because I'm dodging quite a lot in this game, I actually find that I get my abilities back very, very quickly. Otherwise, another good option is CoffeeZilla, where you get 10% reduced ability cooldown just in general for your abilities. So that's also a really good one. Then in addition with I dodge, you dodge, we dodge, I use Slippery Custom, where you get 10% along with dodge invulnerability window. So I just find this helps me when I'm trying to get away from an enemy, or if I want to get a longer dodge distance. Yeah, I find that's a really good perk, and I've been running this a lot recently. Otherwise, another good perk that you can use is increased damage horizontally, because a lot of the time you'll be using that air to the side attack. where you get that damage. And yeah, a lot of damage from Morty is horizontal, so you can use that as well. Otherwise, you can use Tasmanian Trigonometry, which increases your base knockback influence, so that can save you a few times. You can also use triple jump, but I don't find it as useful on Morty as other characters, because Morty's up air, the little ignition, little fire thing that he does, it doesn't do much knockback at all. And I don't find you kill very often with it, and when you do kill with it, you don't really need that extra jump because it will just kill them instantly because they're at a very high percentage. But if you do want to use that, you can use that for sure. But yeah, I don't find that as useful on Morty at the moment. These are some combos that you can pull off with Morty. So with knowing your matchup, you want to know how the character is going to play. So with a Shaggy, Wonder Woman, Batman, Finn, sometimes Steve and Harley, Bugs Bunny and Arya Stark, what they're going to do is they're going to try and stick on you the whole game. So if they're chasing you, what you want to do is you want to do the quick flee, where you dodge and jump, which gets very quickly. And then what you want to do is after you do that, you want to turn around, and then if they're sticking on you, you shoot that there, and then you attack them whilst they're hit stunned. So that's a good way to get some effective damage, and you always want to be checking up if your pistol is ready or not. So now it's ready, then you can easily do that and follow with that, and you know, get some combos going onto them. In contrast, with a character like Jake or Tom and Jerry, characters that are very good at zoning, the difference between them and the characters I mentioned before is you're going to actually have the time to use your nades a lot more against those characters, because when you don't have space, you can't use your nades, otherwise you're going to concede like 20 damage. But against a Jake, you want to be bringing him towards you as much as you can, and especially against Tom and Jerry and everything as well. And against the Tom and Jerry as well, good tip is if he's thrown his Jerry out with the slingshot, you want to shoot him 3 times and then the Jerry dies. So that pretty much makes Tom by himself, and Tom by himself is very, very not great. We'll just say that. Yeah, so you want to really utilize your nades when you can in any matchup, but you will be getting more chance to when you're versing a Jake or someone that's giving you more space in the matchup. Obviously that isn't everything to do with matchups, but that would be a whole completely separate video by itself. But that's just a general overview of how you want to play pretty much against the different play styles. But a lot of that just comes from experience, and when you have that experience, you'll know how those characters play, and then you can also identify how your opponent is playing. You know, if they're recovering high, you want to like hit them with the up spike and everything. So yeah, just a lot of it comes from playing the game and knowing what to do against different characters and how they're playing. But yeah, now we're going on to tips and tricks. Alright, so the first tip that I have for you guys when playing as a Morty is if you find yourself in this situation here and you're on the wall or you're like down here somewhere, you want to call in your spaceship. So that means that you can't get down spiked into the abyss, which can pretty much save you like from a very bad situation. The next tip I have for you guys is if you're about to get up spiked by a character, you want to use that move there, because then you get that invulnerability. And what you want to do ideally is teleport downwards so you get yourself further out of the air. But yeah, you get that armor so you can teleport and not get up spiked. Another trick I have for you guys is if your opponent is off stage, or they're camping down here, or they're trying to recover high, what you can try and do is you can try and snipe them with that move there, which releases the snakes. And if you get the aiming right, the snake will down spike them down into the abyss, or hit them up high, which can either kill them, or then you can follow them and get that up spike going. So yeah, you want to get that snipe, and then yeah, it can kill a lot of the time. The next tip I have for you guys is if you want to edge guard really effectively, you can set your little beacon there and you can use up all your resources, and if at all you're in trouble, you can just recall yourself like that. So you can be all the way out there and down spike them or whatever. And yeah, if you're at all in trouble, you just call yourself back with the little beacon. The next tip I have for you guys is, you know how you can split your own grenades? Well, you can also split enemy grenades from Morty. So you can split their grenade, then it turns into your own grenade, which can surprise them and get some cheeky damage onto them. My next tip for you guys is if you want to kill with a Morty, the up spike isn't very effective unless they're at a very high health. Like I'm talking like about 120%. That can sometimes kill them, but this down spike does have a lot of velocity to them. So if they're at about 100 damage, you want to be trying to use that to kill. Otherwise, to kill, you can also set up grenades. Like if you see that they're coming in, you can get the grenade to set up a kill. But yeah, you don't want to be using the up spike as much to try and get kills unless they're in the air like that and at high health. See, like even at 130 health, like he just doesn't die. Another hot tip is never use this goddamn move. Alright guys, that's the full tutorial there. I hope you guys enjoyed it and learned something new. If you did, let me know in the comments below, and if I missed anything, let me know. If you liked the video, please consider liking and subscribing because that would mean a lot to me. And yeah, have a good one guys.